Hey folks, Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Tuesday, December the 5th. Been out 6 days last week, so pretty busy week last week. Didn't go out yesterday, had the joy of serving jury duty yesterday. Was supposed to go out today, but with this massive cold front we had move in overnight and these high winds, I mean it's blowing 15 to 20 with gusts of 30 today. We decided just to reschedule that trip rather than go ahead and fight this wind today. As far as our lake level is concerned, we are at 913.8, which is about 1.2 feet below normal winter pool. Core has been running quite a bit of water. Not exactly sure why they're dropping the lake as far as they have. I do know that the lake, as far as our oxygen level is concerned, our oxygen level has definitely improved. These colder nights that we've got coming up, this colder week we've got coming up, I really think we're going to see the fishing improve. And I think the Corps will probably shut the water down, but who knows? They do what they do. As far as our water temperature is concerned, it really hasn't fallen all that much. Like I said, I was not on the lake today, not on the lake yesterday. I can tell you Sunday, we were still seeing 58.7, 58.8, as high as 60 degrees. So really hasn't changed all that much. But with these colder nights, with them moving some water, I think we will start to see that temperature drop and see things change up a little bit. As far as the fishing is concerned, if you guys are going to come down, so you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, got a couple of good bites going on. The deep bite is still by far the most consistent bite we have, not just on the lower end, but all over the lake. You know, fishing a drop shot, fishing a spoon. I've been doing really well with the drop shot, either the shad-shaped worm, cut tail worm, UV drop shot worm, chomper's drop shot worm. All of those seems like I do better on the gravel flats and gravel runouts, though I did notice that over the weekend the fish did seem to push out a little bit deeper. Not exactly sure why that was. Most of them we caught were in that 30 to 50 foot range versus the 25 to 45 we have been catching them in. But a lot of fish out there in those gravel runouts. Have been catching a few on the Jewel scuba spoon out there and on the Rapala jigging Rap out there as well. But for me, the best bite has definitely been on the drop shot rig. Catching a few on a jig as well. I went out and fished a jig a little bit on Saturday and fished it quite a bit on Sunday, and did really well with it. Most of the fish on a jig have been in those areas where you have more of a ledgy stair step type bank. Doesn't seem to matter if it's main lake or back in the creek arms, but doing well with the Jewel Pro Spider jig. Did a little better with the 5/16 this week versus the 7/16. Okeechobee Blue was a strong color. Green Pumpkin Candy was a real strong color. Both of them matched up with a Zoom Speed Craw. Seemed like the fish were anywhere from about 8 to about 15 foot deep. And most of those fish have been smallmouth. Catching a few spots, catching a few largemouth, but most of the fish we're catching up there on a jig have been smallmouth. Move up into the Kimberling City area. Deep bite is still really strong up there as well. Like I said, the deep bite seems to be strong all over the lake. And it seems to be the most consistent bite. If you're wanting to go out and catch numbers of fish and put together, you know, let's say a 12 to 13 pound limit, I would go deep fishing. The drop shot bite still is the best bite out there, at least for me it has been. Shad-shaped worm, cut tail worm, UV drop shot worm, chomper's drop shot worm, all those baits are working out there. Again, they seem to be a little bit deeper, about that 30 to 50 foot range on those gravel runouts. I have started to notice a few fish back in the creeks around the trees, but the bulk of the fish still seem to be out on those gravel points on the main lake more than back in the creeks. Catching a few on the scuba spoon as well, same locations. Catching a few on the Rapala jigging Rap too, same location, same depth. Seems like when the fish get a little bit more aggressive, you can get them on that scuba spoon, you can get them on the jigging Rap as well. Jig bite strong in the Kimberling City area as well. Again, those ledgy stair step type banks have been better than even just the chunk rock banks or the transition areas. Look for those areas where you've got a couple of stair steps, and most of those bites are going to come when you pull it from one ledge down to the next ledge. And again, doing better last week with the 5/16 over the 7/16. Okeechobee Blue, Green Pumpkin Candy. A few on peanut butter and jelly, but Okeechobee Blue and Green Pumpkin Candy were my two best colors. Matched up with a Speed Craw has been my best combination down there. Most of them 8 to 15 foot deep. Some of them a little bit deeper, some of them a little bit shallower, but most of them been 8 to 15 foot deep. Really looking for that crankbait bite and have not been able to find a consistent, solid crankbait bite. When these fish started to eat that jig pretty good, I thought, well, I'll get a little bit of wind, we'll throw a crankbait. Did catch a few on a rock crawler and a few on a wiggle wart, but not really as consistent as I want it to be. I think if the water temperature cools off later this week, you will see a much more consistent crankbait bite starting to happen, probably towards the end of this week, beginning of next week. Go up into the James. Again, the deep bite's strong up the James as well. Shad-shaped worm, cut-tail worm, Chomper's drop shot worm, UV drop shot worm, all those baits out on those gravel flats. The fish are a little bit shallower where the water's got color up the James, so 25 to 45 seems to be a good bite. And again, most of them are on those gravel runouts. They're not in the trees yet. On those gravel runouts on the main lake, the gravel points out there by the islands have been really good and holding a lot of fish. You can catch a few on a scuba spoon, catch a few bonus white bass up there on a scuba spoon as well, and catch a few on the Rapple the Jigging Rap. Same locations. Jig bite strong up there. Again, really seems like these fish, especially the smallmouth and the largemouth, are gravitating to those stair-step ledge type banks, both in the creeks and on the main lake, especially up the James. Seems like the main lake is just as strong as the creeks are up the James. 5/16 Jewel Pro Spider Jig, Okeechobee Blue, Green Pumpkin Candy were my best two colors. Again, matched up with the Zoom Speed Craw. Catching a lot of fish on that. Did start to catch a few up there on a War Eagle spinnerbait as well. Those fish, same sort of areas, ledgy type stuff, but it seems like if you've got the wind's blowing in on those transition areas where you've got a ledge bank, a little bit of gravel mixed in, a little bit of bigger rock, almost bluffy type rock mixed in. Throw the spinnerbait up there and you can get a few more bites. Mouse, of course, has been my best color up there, but did catch a few on white and chartreuse as well. Go up into the white. The white is still really strong on the deep bite. The deep bite's great all over the lake, but the white's really strong on a deep bite. A lot of good fish coming out of the white on a deep bite. On a drop shot, again, seems to be my primary pattern or my primary presentation. Doing well with the shad shape, doing well with the cut tail, doing well with the UV drop shot worm, and doing well with the Chomper's drop shot worm. Fish, if you're from about shell knob down, they're going to be a little bit deeper. 30 to 50 seems to be the magic depth out on those gravel runouts. You get above shell knob, you'll start to see them a little bit shallower, especially around the mouth of the Kings where the water's got a little bit more color to it. You'll find them 25 to 45. Again, on those gravel runouts, holding pretty tight to the bottom. You will see a few fish up, but most of these fish are going to be tight to the bottom. You'll catch one, the bottom will kind of blow up, and you can catch several at that time. Scuba spoon was working really well down there as well, and the Rapple the Jigging Rap, that's working well too. Seems like when you get the school activated, get them worked up, get them chasing, you can catch them better on the scuba spoon and on the Rapple the Jigging Rap. Did well with the Jewel Pro Spider Jig too. Again, ledgy type banks by far have more fish, more bites than any other type of bank on the lake right now. Definitely 5/16 Okeechobee Blue, Green Pumpkin Candy. I know I sound like a broken record. And the Zoom Speed Craw was my best presentation last week. And working it down those ledges anywhere from about 8 to about 15 foot deep. Pay close attention when you pull it from one ledge to another, because a lot of these fish are holding on those ledges. You'll pull it down, it'll fall in front of them, they'll pick it up, swim off with it, and you'll never even know you got a bite. You won't feel a bite, your line will just start moving. So pay close attention when you're pulling it off of those ledges. Did catch a few up there on a crankbait as well, but it's not been a real strong crankbait bite yet. Again, I think this cooler weather towards the end of the week will really kick off the crankbait bite. Rock crawler, wiggle wart, those things will start working a lot better once this water cools down and we get closer to 50 degrees. Guys, it is the first full week of December. Christmas is a couple weeks away. Fishing's getting good. We're starting to get our first taste of winter this week. High's going to be about 40 today, about 45 tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, it's not going to get out of the 30s, so it's definitely starting to get into winter. And winter fishing is going to be good. Guys, I've got a lot of openings coming up in December and January. I know a lot of people don't want to book those days in advance. Fishing's really good in the wintertime. If you guys are coming to town, you're thinking about going, give me a call. If you guys want to go out, catch some fish, have a good time, give me a call. If you guys want to learn how to fish deep, this is one of our better deep fishing times of the year. So if you want to learn how to fish deep, now's the time to come. Now's the time to learn how to fish deep. Now's the time to learn what you're seeing on your electronics. Learn how to read your electronics. It's a great time of year to do that. If you guys are thinking about it, give me a call. Oh, it's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743. Hit my website, focusfishing.com. Shoot me an email or book online. Either way, I'll get back to you within 12 hours. Remember, we are running winter rates. You can save $50 on a guide trip now through the end of February. So book a trip now, save some money, go out and learn some, go out and catch some fish, have a good time. Whatever you guys want to do, get a hold of me. We'll go fishing. We'll have fun. Thanks for watching the videos. If you got a minute and haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to the videos. But thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.